What's up, YouTube? I've pretty much have exhausted a lot of the different topics that fall under the interracial dating category. I have honestly tried to take the conversation to a deeper level, to a level that you aren't going to see on TV, that you aren't going to see on YouTube, that you aren't going to read in a book or a magazine, or even conversations that you may not even have with other people around you, right? Because I wasn't satisfied in terms of what I was hearing, so I was compelled to come on YouTube and talk about it. And unfortunately, you really can't talk about black relationships and the black family without this coming up. So for me, it's better to attack it at a deeper level as opposed to glancing over it. I've even tried, for example, to do a more recent vid on what these so-called interracial couples do in terms of opposition from white America. Because black women will come on and say that we're not at where they are. Okay, they're not in the middle class. They're not in, the corporate setting. They're not in the upper class. And I've actually tried to open up a conversation to understand how they think. But, instead I got responses such as, black men hate on us too. And I'm like, okay, but we're not where you guys are or where you claim to be. So how are we hating on you to the point where you feel like it's equal or even more? And even if it was equal, let's say black men hate on your love just as much as white Americans do. White America does, excuse me. Where are you going to end up? Are you going to end up in a community with where the population is predominantly black, or a community where the a population is predominantly white, or just non-black altogether? Right? So how do you deal with it? No response, or no one really addressing the question. Like I said, the first responses that I was getting was, oh, black men hate on our love too. You can read the comments, it's there. I've also tried to do another topic related to it in terms of now white men are dating options and not oppressors. I forgot how I called it. And I talked about how when we're sitting down, right, with, and it's blacks talking about blacks, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, right, and it's a professional conversation, and we're talking about our hardships in corporate America and all the challenges that we face and all of the ideas of racism and affirmative action and all these deep issues. We seem to have common ground in terms of where white America stands and how we view against them. But the second we talk about issues with dating, all of a sudden white men are viable options. Don't let the title fool you. I really wasn't literally meaning that, white men are oppressing black women and holding them down and all that other stuff. It was just to bring people in. Like I said before, my titles often are just meant to have people watch the vid. But you can look at the comments for yourself and you can see what I'm talking about. Once again, there's a failure to address the issue on a deeper level. And this upsets me because I'm losing some of the subscribers that actually mean a lot to me. All you guys do, but there's a couple that have pretty much been with me since I started on YouTube almost about a year ago. Like, they've been there from day one, and we've been talking, going back and forth, challenging each other, having us think on a deeper level. And some of them are leaving simply because they're tired of it. So for me, it's just like, you know what? I've tried in terms of this whole interracial topic, and, it's pretty much a wrap. I'm done. I'm moving on. But my final word on this issue is this. I don't care if you chose to interracially date or you were forced to. I don't care. Right? You left. Somebody didn't come steal you away and sweep you off your feet. You made the decision to leave. I understand why, but you made the decision to leave. There's hundreds of black men out there who get rich and get their stuff together and feel they're better than black women. Yeah, it happens. Right? I know some personally. But then there are also hundreds of black men, probably even thousands of black men, who are leaving for the same reasons that black women say they are. right? They have no choice. They've tried, but it's not working. My words to those black men too is, well, you chose to leave, and these men know it. A lot of these men that are leaving aren't necessarily sellouts. They're great assets to any community that they're in, but they understand what's going on. They understand that they can't come off, and be the strong type of black leader or strong black male influence that the community needs and be with a non-black chick. It's not going to work. Even if they didn't leave on purpose, or they didn't leave because they had some sort of self-hate. So as far as the women go, I don't care. Right? Life is life, right? Everything's not going to be peaches and roses. Sometimes things happen in life and we just have to deal with it. So if you're a black woman out there and you feel like you had to go outside because things were that bad, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Right? You have a new life and a new world to adapt to. Right? You had to migrate, you migrated, get used to your new country and your new life. But I refuse to sit back and let Essence and Ebony and all these other black women act as if they can go out dating racially and still be strong black women, right? And not be phased, right? And still be, we didn't do anything wrong. We're still strong. Nope, you left. In the story. As far as those who are committed to black relationships, we need to go back to what we were doing before. I wish to get back to the whole opening up conversations between people who actually want black relationships, but people who are not, I repeat, I want people who are not going to use the whole excuse of dating interracially as an excuse not to self-reflect, dig deeply, make sacrifices, and admit that you're wrong in terms of trying to help rebuild and foster black relationships. We are very much at the frontier on this issue. A lot of the dating issues that we have, our parents didn't have. So this conversation and this whole issue in terms of black relationships is going to be extremely difficult, right? We are on a brand new frontier, but I'd rather be fighting this fight than being anywhere else, because there's younger black men and women who are going to come up and have the same issue, and I would love for them to come to me and I can tell them how I did it because I stuck around and I didn't use interracial dating as an excuse. Does this mean that it's not going to happen? Does this mean that, in 10 years I may, be off with a non-black chick? I'm not saying all that. But all I'm saying is I'm committed to trying to attack this issue and fix it. And I'm not going to use the fact that I can go out and get a white chick or a Hispanic chick as an excuse not to do anything and, for me just to sit back and say, if they want me, they have to step their game up. I definitely have to be more proactive. So understand where I'm coming from. I don't want you on my channel. I don't want you leaving any comments on my vids if you're one of the people who feel like they can chime in, right? And they want to use the fact that they can interracially date as leverage. Or I don't want you chiming in because you feel like interracial dating is a solution. No. You left. I don't care. Like I said before, I don't care if you left on purpose or you were forced to leave. It is what it is. It's funny because I got a couple of comments and people said that, we shouldn't block the black voice even if they are with somebody who's not black. They should still have a voice. They should still have a say. And I agree, but oftentimes they block themselves because they don't really care. Hopefully, more people can witness what we've all been talking about. If we talk about different issues not pertaining to interracial dating, we're just trying to get people to, say how they feel. But the second is some interracial dating stuff, people come out the woodworks and they have everything to say. So I don't even have to block your voice if you're in an interracial relationship. It's kind of already proven that you dating outside the race kind of shows that you kind of have the spirit that you don't really care about black issues anyways, because you don't talk about it to begin with. So anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm done with the whole interracial dating thing. I've tried. You can go back and you can look at some of my older videos and see that I have tried to actually open up this debate. Right? If I get a good comment here and there, I may respond to it, but for the most part, I'm done. You guys can read through the comments on those videos and you can see where I'm coming from. So, you guys take it easy. God bless.